From ABC, new study shows U.S. government fails to oversee treatment of foster children with mind-altering drugs. And you see Diane Sawyer is the one reading the story with that concerned motherly, now grandmotherly look on her face. The federal government has not done enough to oversee the treatment of America's foster children with powerful mind-altering drugs, according to a Government Accountability Office report to be released Thursday. ABC News was given exclusive access to the GAO report, which capped off a nationwide year-long investigation by ABC News on the overuse of the most powerful mind-altering drugs on many of the country's nearly 425,000 foster children. And she looks at you with that sad look in her eyes and says, "Oh, it's for the children that we demand that the U.S. government oversee this more." But she's already got the story completely backwards. Why? Because she's reading off the teleprompter, doing exactly what her corporate overlords want you to do. The government has not done enough to oversee the treatment of America's foster children. Do you know what that's like saying? That's like saying, well, my rapist really hasn't done enough to, oversee my pleasure in being raped. My murderer hasn't done a good enough job of cleaning up the blood spills. We really need to demand better care from our violent attackers. The government is behind pushing these psychoactive drugs on these children. Holy crap, is it so hard to see? But no, this is why the mainstream media is so dangerous. Excuse me, not the mainstream. The old broadcast, government-controlled propaganda media is so dangerous because it gives you these absolute false presumptions of government and retrenches them in your mind. And so when a real problem like this comes up, you automatically go, well, geez, why isn't the government doing more about this? But if you understood what the government was and you weren't being fed propaganda by government lackeys, you'd understand that this presumption is entirely false. If you looked and ask why, and this is the thing, they don't want you to ask why. They want you to go to knee-jerk violent solutions, which is all you ever get from government. More oversight, more regulation, more violent control, because that's what government is. I'm not saying this isn't a real problem. This is a huge problem. Children are getting screwed. They are having their brains destroyed. They are being led to commit suicide. They are getting all sorts of horrific side effects on behalf of the pharmaceutical industry because the government is foisting these drugs on them. And the fact that foster children are getting more of these drugs not only makes them doubly victims, which is just so especially tragic, but we are all being ripped off to pay for this. The GAO's report, based on a 2-year-long investigation, looked at 5 states, Florida, Massachusetts, Michigan, Oregon, and Texas. Thousands of foster children were being prescribed psychiatric medication at doses higher than the maximum levels approved by the Food and Drug Administration in those 5 states alone. Oh, really? They're actually poisoning them by their own definition? Surprise, surprise. And hundreds of foster children received 5 or more psychiatric drugs at the same time, despite absolutely no evidence supporting the simultaneous use or safety of this number of psychiatric drugs taken together. If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. If you're listening to Diane Sawyer and ABC, you're probably getting misled. Think for yourself.
Yes, we will.
Okay, but how?
Yes, we will.
How?
Yes, we will.
What's your name?
My name's Adam.
Adam what? Lanza?
Okay.
Anything that has a bunch of crap in the magazine that shoots people